Sunday afternoon, March 12th. You are listening to Weather with Enthusiasm. For the 9th consecutive week, another major winter storm moves across the Midwest. This week we have two of them. One of them is really an extension of the storm that came across the end of last week. 13.2 inches of snow fell yesterday in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Another 4 to 6 inches was forecasted to fall today for the same area. Minneapolis, Minnesota has seen 77 inches of snow so far this year. That was as of Friday or Saturday. Additional snow fell with this system. That's probably about 30 or more inches of snow above normal for this time of the year. Bismarck, North Dakota is sitting at a 92 inches of snow so far this season. That's the third snowiest season on record, and we're not even over with this winter yet, for we have to prepare for the next winter storm coming up at the end of this week, which may be bringing its heavy snow into the Minneapolis, Minnesota area once again. These things again tend for the Midwest to bring 6 to 12 inches in its bullseye, but as you see, we have always exceptions. Sheboygan got 30.2 and 13.2 inches, despite the fact we're dealing with March, where the snow tends to fall as a wet snow. This upcoming week, we have lots going on, and we're not even talking about the West Coast. We'll just mention there was a lake over there in California that totally froze over for the first time in 32 years. How do you like that? 32 degrees is freezing. The last time it froze over was 1991. Lake Tahoe, I believe that's the name of the lake, and they say the drought has now come to an end. And the National Weather Service says also the La Nina has finally come to an end. We are now in neutral territory. One other just statistic over a volcano erupted in Indonesia and an earthquake happened in South America. But Tropical Storm Freddy is the longest duration tropical storm ever to exist, and it has now moved on to one of the African countries, making landfall for the third time. Amazing stuff. Back here to the United States, we have this storm system that's going to move off to the northeast, but that's not the main system. The main system is developing right now over the northeast waters of the Gulf of Mexico. That storm system moves northeast off the coast of the Carolinas, bringing severe weather into the Georgia area. We have severe weather taking place, risks over a couple days this week for the south central states. We also are going to be seeing unseasonably warm weather make its way into the Midwest this Thursday. Temperatures going likely into the 70s for St. Louis. These types of scenarios brings 70-degree warmth this time of the year in St. Louis. That's without sunshine. Should there be sunshine, you could pull off something more. 60 degrees for the southern portions of Chicago is certainly not out of the question. In fact, it's not out of the question even to get a 60 degrees anywhere in Chicago, and along with chances for thunder. That's the next system. Back to the East Coast. That storm system, northeast Gulf of Mexico today, moves off the coast of the Carolinas, and then it rapidly intensifies over the course of Monday and Tuesday over the mid-Atlantic area, off the coast over there as it pulls towards New England, off the coast of the New England area. The storm system in the Midwest is connected to the storm system on the East Coast. The storm system in the Midwest weakens, transfers its energy off to the storm on the East Coast, and we have what's called, the meteorologists call this abomogenesis. That's when the storm system intensifies so quickly that it produces a vacuum-like effect in the middle and develops hurricane-type characteristics. Officially, to qualify, you have to drop 1 MB every hour for 24 hours, or 0.71 over a 24-hour period, and we will be qualifying for that. That's we have no question about that. We have the background music once again. That was too loud, unfortunately. But And as we move right along, we have that nor'easter. Winter storm watches are in effect for parts of Passaic, New Jersey, parts of New York. We have chances of seeing 4 to 10 inches of snow for portions to the north of New York and to the west of New York, along with that snow rain line going right through New York, right through Boston, Providence, a little bit to the west. The heaviest snow falls to the west and to the north of the Boston, New York area. New York, Albany, New York might be seeing really the bullseye of this system. Snow drought continues for portions of Baltimore, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia. In a certain way, we have a snow drought in New York as well. 2-point-some inches of snow so far this year. Normally, they're seeing about 20-some inches. And Philadelphia has seen about 2, 3, 4/10 of an inch of snow so far this year. Normally, they've seen 20 inches. Washington, D.C. has normally seen 12 inches. They've seen 2, 3, 4/10 of an inch of snow so far this year. Boston is close to a foot so far this year. Normally, they've seen 42 inches of snow so far this year. So, very low on the snow. Unseasonably cold air moves into the southeast parts of this country as the storm system here in the Midwest pulls away, and also as that storm system off the Georgia and South Carolina coast pulls away, brings in overnight lows into the 30s, even the 20s for portions over there. Bitterly cold March-like air pushes into the Wisconsin area as temperatures drop into the single digits. We have an ice storm that's taking place over in the southern portions of the Appalachians. Winter weather advisories are currently in effect for the western portions of Maryland, and we have about 2-3 inches of snow forecast for that area. Potential peak totals in the bullseye for the nor'easter, 12 to 24 inches in parts of the inland portions of New York, and about half of that, or even a quarter of that, or a third of that as you make it over towards the coast. In fact, some areas near the coast may see mostly rain. Precipitation starts off as rain. We have dynamic cooling that's going to be playing a major role in this storm because temperatures will be in the 30s, a little bit too warm for snow. But with dynamic cooling, that's when the precipitation rates are so heavy that it brings the cold air aloft down to the surface, bringing snow. You look in Providence, Rhode Island, you'll see the European computer model as advertised on windy.com brings heavy snowfall rates, but the temperatures are above 32 during the entire storm. So, in regards to what's actually going to be happening, when the precipitation falls heavily, it falls as snow. When it's light, it falls as rain. And with lots of melting taking place, the snow to water ratio is down to 6-1. All of these things are going to help bring down the snow totals for that part of the country. Again, for the Midwest, 6 to 12 inches at the end of the week for the bullseye. For the upper Midwest, and we see heavy rain to the southeast. Chicago is usually somewhere in between, but thunderstorms is a possibility in Chicago this week on Thursday.